Hey, what's up everybody, it's Darren35 here, bringing you guys a new pickups video. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the games I got through the month of December. And it's also the final pickups video of 2022. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so first game I have up here is Jammer Lammy for the PlayStation 1. I've always seen this game before. I still even remember the commercials, or the commercial at least for this game. It was a pretty funny commercial, just sitting in a neighborhood and a car just freaking winds up flying over a fence and landing in the pool. I'm not entirely sure what that had to do with Jammer Lammy, but I always remember that commercial. This is pretty much a PlayStation 1 rhythm game, similar to Parappa the Rapper. It's related to Parappa the Rapper. I haven't really played this or Parappa too much, so this is one of the ones I was wanting to try, because like I said, I've always seen this game but never played it myself before. I don't play a whole lot of like rhythm games like that, but I've always wanted to try this and Parappa at some point, so I finally decided I wanted to get this game at some point eventually, so I finally got around to getting me a copy of it, so I'm happy about that. I was going to try playing it eventually one of these days. I may have to play this on a CRT though, because usually they say with like the older rhythm games, the way they work, it might be kind of hard to play it on the HD TV, because like the input lag and stuff like that might make it a little harder to play, so I might have to go bust out the CRT TV to play this one, but I don't know, we'll see. Next up here, I got a PS3 game, and that is the Prince of Persia trilogy. This includes all three of the Prince of like the newer at the time Prince of Persia games, the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, Warrior Within, and the Two Thrones. I've really only played Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, and even then I've only really played a little bit of it. I haven't played through like the entire game before. Like, I still remember the one demo disc I have, the winter, I think it was like Winter Jam Pack 2003, I believe, demo disc I had that had a demo of Prince of Persia: Sands of Time on it. That was pretty cool. I never played any of the other two Prince of Persia games, but I've been wanting to get this lately. It's another one of the trilogy collections for the PS3. Read the back there if you want. It has all the Prince of Persia, it's all the Prince of Persia games on it. I've been wanting to get this for a while, and I especially wanted to track down a copy soon once Ubisoft started talking about like that remake or whatever they were doing of the first Prince of Persia, which who knows if that's even like coming out, because I was seeing like the screenshots and stuff of that remake. That looked rough. The visuals on that remake looked freaking rough. Like, this looks better. You could just play the Sands of Time on this HD collection right here, and this looked better than that remake. Heck, you could probably still play the original PS2 version, and it would look better than that remake did. Like, that remake was looking rough. Once they saw they were talking about that, I've always wanted the Prince of Persia trilogy, because like I said, I've played very little of the first one. I've never played these two, so I've always wanted this. And then when I saw Ubisoft talking about that Prince of Persia remake, I'm like, I better go ahead and jump on this, because whenever that comes out, and when that starts getting talked about more, it's going to drive the price of this one up, because it's going to make people want to go back and play the original and stuff like that. Because usually like with a lot of newer game announcements, when they announce a newer either a remake or a new version of a game or something like that, for like that, the older versions of it tend to go up in price or something like that. So I was like, let me go ahead and grab this before it becomes more expensive whenever that remake happens, or when they start talking about that remake some more. So yeah, I'm glad I have this now. I can play the original and all the other two, and get trophies in and stuff, and probably have a better time than whatever Ubisoft is doing with that freaking remake. Man, that looked rough. Alright, my next game here also goes along with the buy it now before it becomes expensive later on mindset I was on, is X-Men Origins Wolverine Uncaged Edition. Now, I've seen gameplay of this game before, like some years ago and stuff, just here and there, finding the gameplay about it. I've never actually played this game, but I hear nothing but good things about it. I hear people say this is like one of, if not just straight up the best Wolverine game that's ever been made. So I've seen, like I said, I've seen gameplay. It's a hack and slash type game. I hear nothing but good things about it. I hear it's supposed to be really, really good. And I was thinking about wanting to try it out and stuff. And you know, with Insomniac Games, they're making a new Wolverine game. I think this might be like the last most recent, or like the last Wolverine video game made, I think, until Insomniac comes out with theirs. And so when they announced they were doing that, it made me think of this game and how good I heard people say it was, and I said I wanted to try it. So like with Prince of Persia, I'm like, okay, if that's the case, then I better go ahead and buy this now before they actually show the Wolverine game, because they just like teased it. But as soon as they show more about it, show gameplay and stuff, especially have a release date, I can already see the price of this going up more, because this game is already like, at least when like back before I decided I want to buy it, when I was just looking up just out of curiosity to see how much it costs, I was like seeing it on eBay at least for like already like 40 or 50 or something like that when I was looking it up a while back. I'm like, god dang, I should go ahead and buy this now before that 40 and 50 goes up even more. But then whenever more of that whenever more Insomniac's Wolverine game comes out, I'll probably get Insomniac's Wolverine also. But like I said, I wanted to play this because I've heard good things about it. I've never played it, but yeah, I decided to go ahead and buy this now. It's like, because like I said, man, whenever either like a remake or something, or a new version of a game comes out, like whatever older versions of it seem to like just skyrocket the price up. Like if you want a perfect example, recently, look at the Armored Core game. Seriously, every Armored Core game ever made has like shot up in price like crazy ever since Armored Core 6 got announced. It's crazy. I'm like, see, this is why I try to, like, if there's a game I want to play or get into or whatever, and if like a new version of it comes out, or if like a remake or something gets announced, I'm like, and if I want to play the older original version, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cop this real quick to avoid having to pay more than what it already goes for. This is the manual, well, if you can call it that. But look at this. Look how thin this is. It's the gameplay controls and an introduction. You can pause it if you want to read it. I'm just trying to like get it in the light good. And this here. And that's it. I looked through the entire manual just now. This was it. This was the start. Look how, like I said, look how thin this is. This was the start. And PS3 360 like manuals started like shrinking more and more over time until they just like you can delete it into nothingness where there's not even manuals anymore. This was it. This was the start. This is where the manuals were starting to become freaking malnourished. Terrible. But yeah, like I said, I'm glad I have this now, so now I can like play it and stuff, and then I can avoid having to pay even more than what it normally costs whenever that new Wolverine from Insomniac gets showed off more, which I do, I will probably more than likely try that out as well. And I really like Insomniac games and the games they've made, so yeah, I'll more than likely get that Wolverine game, their newer one, but I want to play this too, because I've heard nothing but good things about it over the years. Didn't really pay too much attention to it when it first came out. Okay, and this next game was actually a game that was supposed to make an appearance in the last game pickups that I posted, but it didn't arrive by the time I filmed the video, so I said it'd make it for the next one, and now it finally arrived a while ago, so now I finally have it. But that game is, if we'll focus, the Callisto Protocol Day 1 edition for the PlayStation 5. Like I said, this was a game I had pre-ordered it when it well, not like right when it got announced, but at some point I got it pre-ordered to get it, to have it come out when it released. Like I said, I wanted to support this game because it was a new IP. It looked really cool. It's similar to Dead Space, but its own unique thing and all that stuff. And I really wanted to support the game, so I pre-ordered it to show my support. And I still plan on playing this game though, despite like at least like the technical issues and stuff I've been hearing like this game has. Who knows? Maybe by the time I get around to actually being able to sit down and play through this, it'll probably be like all fixed up and stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to have like a better experience and stuff like that. But despite what like the critics are saying about this game, I still want to play it. Like I said, I always like to play games for myself and all that stuff. I don't really pay attention too much to reviews anymore these days. Besides, like I said, it's really just like, from what I've noticed, it's really just like the critics that have like really negative things to say about this game. But I've noticed most of the people that actually play through the game themselves, they say it's not that bad. Like, it's not as bad as like the critics are making it. It still has its flaws, it still has issues and bugs and stuff, and that's fair. The game has issues and stuff, and that's perfectly fair to call out and stuff. But people say, they play it, say, despite the flaws and stuff, it's still pretty fun and they still liked it and things like that. So I still have, I'm still eager to play Callisto Protocol at some point. So like I said, hopefully by the time I get around to it, the game will be all patched up and stuff, and I just have like a better, more enjoyable experience and all that stuff. Okay, next up here I have is a one-off original Xbox game that I bought for the my original Xbox games. I'm still trying to get the last few that I want, and that is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I remember seeing this show when it aired back on it aired on the WB back in the day. I didn't really watch it hardcore like that back then, but I saw like parts of it and stuff like that. And what made me want to get this game was, like I said, I would do a research into, when I was looking into buying original Xbox games, I would look into what kind of Xbox original Xbox games were out there that I wanted to buy. And I always heard this game was really good. Like, it's pretty much like a 3D beat 'em up game where you play as Buffy and you fight all these different creatures and stuff like that. And I always heard that this game was really good, like as a beat 'em up, and it was supposed to be really good, and made me pretty interested and wanted to try it because I do like 3D beat 'em ups. They're cool. We don't really get a whole lot of 3D beat 'em ups these days, unfortunately. That's the man. God, don't you just hate when they put stickers on freaking manuals? I'm about to figure out how to get that off. I got like stuff that you can remove stickers and all that. I hate when they put stickers on manuals. Like, who does that? What kind of monster are you? I'm just gonna flip through some of this manual really quickly, but yeah, like I said, I heard this game was supposed to be really good, and so I was like, and I looked up gameplay of it, and I was like, it looks fun. I haven't watched like a lot of Buffy the show, but it would be a fun game to play, so I added it to my wish list of original Xbox games I wanted to get. I might actually start getting into watching Buffy, because I know the show is pretty good, and like I said, I've seen parts of it like years ago when it came out on the WB, but I didn't watch the show hardcore like that. But lately I've been thinking about, I might try to get into watching Buffy at some point. Now, like I said a couple of videos ago, when I was playing the X-Files game, I got into watching the X-Files, and that's pretty good, so I might get into watching this show at some point too. But yeah, there's pretty much 2 Buffy games. There's this one, and then there's another one called Chaos Bleeds, I think. From what I've seen, it's always this one. This one is exclusive to the Xbox, so you can only play this on the Xbox. The other Buffy game is on the PS2 and Xbox. I think maybe the GameCube. But apparently that one isn't as good. This is like the best Buffy game, apparently. So with that being said, and with it being only on the Xbox, I'm like, what, I should probably get this. I could see this like going up in price at some point. Like, if original Xbox collection ever gets huge, I could see this being one of the ones that go up. So I'm like, what, it looks cool, it looks like it might be fun. I enjoy 3D beat 'em ups. I want to try this, so went ahead and wanted to get it. So who knows, man, I might play through this at some point, and might try to get into really actually watching Buffy myself at some point, so that'd be pretty cool. Alright, and lastly, my final game is a bit different and a little bit special. It's like it's pretty much my first ever import game. Like, I've been collecting for a little while here, and I've never actually bought or owned an import game from like anywhere before. So this game right here is actually going to be my like first ever import video game. I've never bought, like I said, I never bought or played an import game before. So this is going to be like my absolute first one. And it's one I've been eyeing for quite a while and stuff like that. So that import game is a game called Dynamite Deca, or as it's known in the US, Die Hard Arcade. This is basically a arcade video game based off the movie Die Hard. Like, that's supposed to be not Bruce Willis, and she's just like made specifically for this game, I believe, because it was just mainly he was like the only like one in the building and stuff in Die Hard, and she's just made for this game. But because this is a two-player arcade beat 'em up game, and like I said, this is like the first ever import game that I ever bought. Because you can see it's all in pure Japanese. Because that right there is yeah, that's the game description right there. And then you get pictures and stuff. It's easy to understand some pictures. But yeah, like I said, I've been eyeing this game for a while, because I actually played this game in the arcade. Like, I've actually played an arcade machine version of this game many years ago. I don't remember exactly where it was at. It was years ago. I think it was like at a skating rink or something back in the day. And then I remember seeing like a arcade machine with this game on. I thought it looked really cool. This was, like I said, this was years ago, and years passed. I remember like vague parts about this game, like that one part where you're in like the underground parking garage or whatever, and there's like that fire truck there. You have to fight those guys there. If you've played this game, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But I just vaguely remember that and nothing else. And I was trying for the life of me to remember what game that was, and somehow, some way, years down the line, I finally figured out and found out that it was this. It was the Dynamite Deca in Japanese, or like I said, Die Hard Arcade. Yeah, I finally figured out that was it, and I looked up that game to find gameplay on, see if that was the game that I remembered, and sure enough, it was. I thought, hey, that was pretty cool. I always wondered what game that was. I vaguely remember playing for a little bit at the arcades back in the day. And for the longest time, I always thought it was just an arcade-only game. But then, like, later on, I found out like they did get a home console port to the Saturn. I thought that was cool, but I'm like, dude, I don't even have a Saturn, and they're stupidly insane. Like, I never had a Saturn or anything like that, and I wasn't about to like, buy one to play that game, because the prices of Saturn stuff is through the freaking roof. And then, sometime, I don't remember exactly when, but sometime after that, I found out that there was also a PS2 version of this game that was released exclusively in Japan. And ever since then, I always wanted it, because I always thought that, I wanted to play this game again. Because I've literally never touched or played this game since however long ago that was in arcade when I was younger. That was a little while ago, so I haven't played or seen, this game for myself since then. And what's cool about the Sega Ages exclusive Japanese version for the PS2 is that I remember it's even over there in that other screenshot there, but I remember there was a feature in this to where you can play either this, this is like a remade version of it. This is the normal version of this game on here. The PS2 version is like the remade, redone up visuals and stuff. You can play that as the default, or you can straight up play Sega Saturn mode, which is that right there. And that's literally just the game. Like, that's the Sega Saturn version of the game right there on the PS2. So like, that's another reason why I really wanted this so badly, is because you get both versions of the game in one package. You get like the more HD up version of the game, and as a bonus you get the original Sega Saturn version you can play as well. And I'd much rather try to play the game through this way. It's much cheaper and much easier to play it that way, because The Sega Saturn version of Die Hard Arcade is absolutely disgusting price-wise. Look at this. The disc looks pretty cool. I like the artwork on the disc. This thing is immaculate condition too. This junk came from freaking Japan. This thing is immaculate too. It's crazy. Let's flip through the menu really quick. All in Japanese, so I'm not gonna be able to read not one freaking thing in this entire manual. That's okay. It's just a beat 'em up. It's pretty easy to play through. You don't like have to know Japanese to play this game. It's like I said, it's an arcade beat 'em up. And I think even then, it's still like the text is in English anyway, so it's not really like a language barrier problem. Yeah, I remember that part. I remember seeing that helicopter in like the attract screen for the arcade version and stuff. Like I said, I've seen gameplay of this game, and ever since I found out it was on the PS2, I always wished I could have this game so I can actually like sit down and play the game for myself for the first time, and I don't know how long. Yeah, there's a little bit of English in here. Yeah, see, that's from the game. Even though the whole thing is in Japanese, the text is still English. But yeah, see, it's Sega Saturn mode. That's what that was on the back. You can just straight up play the Sega Saturn, version of this game through this. And like I said, that's significantly cheaper than actually buying a Saturn and then actually buying the game itself. This is significantly cheaper and easier to do. So I'm all for this. And stuff like that, and that periscope mode, which from what I've seen of the gameplay, you can like play that to get extra lives and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty much like a pretty cool arcade game that's based off of Die Hard Arcade. There's also like a sequel to this called Dynamite Cop, I believe, on the Dreamcast. That looks pretty cool. I've never played that game either. I've never played that one, but that game looks really cool. They made another one called, I think, is it Dynamite Deca 2 or something like that. That was arcade only. Like even to this day, that game never got a home console release. And I forgot what the name of it was. I have to look up what it was. But it was pretty much the sequel to Dynamite Cop, I believe, Dynamite Cop 2 or something like that. And it's arcade only, so you can only really play it through like an arcade or on main or something. There's no other way to play it. But like I said, I've always wanted this. I'm happy I finally have this. So I just gotta figure out a way to get a PS2 that I can make region free or something. Then I can actually sit down and play this. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that one of these days. But yeah, I'm happy I at least have the game right now. So whenever I can get around to figuring out how to get PS2 to be region free, so I just play whatever region games on it. I would love to try this out and finally sit down and play it. There's more like Japanese or European only games I've seen out there that I would really like to play. This isn't the only import game I've seen that I would like to play at some point. There's a few others out there I would love to get my hands on and play at some point. So this is could be like the beginning of me building up like a small little import game collection. Would be pretty cool. But like I said, I've never played or bought or played an import game before, so this is my first one. So that's pretty sweet. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much my game. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the pickups of games I got for the month of December and stuff like that. That one being a late edition because it's got pushed back a few days, but that's whatever. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm Statman35 and I'm out. Please don't forget to rate and comment and subscribe. I hope you guys had a great holiday weekend. I hope you guys got everything you wanted or asked for or whatever for the holidays and stuff like that. I hope you guys, whatever physical media or whatever you guys are trying to collect, I hope you guys have good luck collecting that, this year and on into 2023. Hope you guys get whatever physical media y'all are looking for. Hope you guys have a happy new year, and I'm out. Peace.